In this video, I'm going to show you how to configure your tax rates for selling and buying products. Taxes are configured in 3 areas. Product tax rates, which is Zoho CRM's native settings. Global datasets for all modules that capture tax details. Your accounting system, like Zoho Books, Xero, or QuickBooks. Let's start with Zoho's native settings under CRM. Go to Settings, look for Modules and Fields, then find the Product module. Under the ellipsis, select Customize Tax Rates. In this area, you configure all tax rates used by your business. For example, you need a 0 tax rate for tax-exclusive products, but tax rates for different regions or product types. If you are in the US, sales tax is a combined total of state and local tax rates. For example, Florida has 6% state tax and 1% local tax, so you apply 7% in total. Please note, some states have special rules or exceptions, so always check the tax setup for your location. It's important your tax rates here match your tax rates in your accounting system, so invoices and suppliers' bills integrate tax details correctly. In this example, we will use Zoho Books. Let's look at how the tax rates are configured in Zoho Books against Zoho CRM to make sure they match. In Zoho Books, go to Settings. Then under Taxes and Compliance, click on Taxes. Here you can see your active taxes. In this setup, we've aligned our tax configuration between Zoho Books and Zoho CRM. In Zoho Books, we've set up the active tax rates, GST at 10% and tax-free at 0%. As you can see, this matches the product's tax rates. Now that Zoho Books and products match, let's now look at global datasets. Tax type information is used in multiple modules in CRM, such as suppliers, accounts, BOQ items, and more. Under tax type, you can see the exact same tax names, only with a dash and the percentage added. For example, GST, then enter space, dash, space followed by the tax rate. With a decimal point, enter space and a percentage symbol. By keeping the names consistent across both systems, any quote, variation, or invoice raised in CRM will carry through to books with the correct tax applied. Watch the video on global datasets to learn more about this feature. Now your global dataset is matching your product and accounting system. Let's look at how tax rates are determined. Let's go to the Products module. In the Product module, the tax rate field is a multi-select option. Here you choose all rates that will be used when selling this product. Under the Sales tax, choose the default tax for this product when selling, but make sure this rate is also selected in the tax options. Under the Purchase tax, choose a default tax for this product when buying, but make sure this rate is also selected in the tax options. The tax rates can also be configured under Accounts for selling to customers and Suppliers for purchasing. If your customer or supplier have a different rate, you can select this under the Accounts and Supplier modules. When you sell or buy, the account or supplier default tax will be used. Under this tax rate not available under the product. In this situation, it will use the default sales and default purchase tax rates. For example, if you have a company in Australia and New Zealand, you could have 10% GST and 15% GST. This same logic applies to US clients, where customers or jobs in different regions with different tax rates. Please note, for US clients, you can update the tax rate on purchases based on the delivery addresses. Let's continue with the Australian, New Zealand example, which also applies to the US. Your default sales rate is 10% GST as you're based in Australia. Your New Zealand clients can be set up with 15% default tax under the Accounts module. The estimate will default to 15%, as long as the products used have this tax rate as one of the available options. If you sell a product that has no tax, regardless of the region, then only select 0% as the available tax under the product and use this as your default sales tax. When you create an estimate for either an Australian or New Zealand client, this item will default to 0% as it's the only tax option available for this product. All the other items will use the correct tax value. Please note, when you convert an estimate, the grouping will check your tax rates and split any items out that do not have the same tax options. For purchasing, the same logic applies, but instead of using the account for customers, it uses the tax rules under the supplier. This means if you're purchasing products from overseas suppliers, you can enter 0% under the supplier tax rate, and as long as this is an option under the product tax. If your supplier has not tax configured, the purchase order will use the default purchase tax rate under the product record. To summarize, make sure your tax options are consistently formatted under products, global data sets, and your accounting system. Make sure the sales primary tax and purchase primary tax option have been selected for each product, and these rates are also available under the product tax. Make sure customers who have tax rules specific to them have their tax rate configured under the accounts module, and this tax rate is available under the products you sell. Make sure suppliers who have tax rules specific to them have their tax rate configured under the supplier module, and this tax rate is available under the products you sell. Please note, when you estimate and purchase, you can still change the tax used for individual transactions. But setting up your tax correctly means the rates are automatically updated, which eliminates the need to manually update individual items in your estimate or purchase orders.